again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Favorite time of the week, but not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews in your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly, fans, brews, and Broncos news. What is up, Broncos country? Welcome to another episode of the Orange Weekly post-game podcast. The Denver Broncos ended up losing to themselves, really, on Sunday Night Football. The scoreboard shows that we lost to the Chiefs 22-9. But let's face it, guys, the Broncos lost to themselves, and we'll explain our feelings on that. But I got Jon and Rob with me here as usual. Jon, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Good to see you again.
Yeah,
it's been a long week, and excited to talk some Broncos, although I wish I was in a better mood.
Right.
I 100% agree with you, Kevin. We lost this game. The Chiefs didn't beat us.
Yep. What about you, Rob? What you got, man?
Man, fuck the Chiefs. God damn it.
I love the energy just right off the bat. Jon and I are just like resigned and just like sad, and he just comes out punching. I love it.
Bro, I'm mad as hell. And absolutely, we beat ourselves. And we'll get into all that in the show. But thanks everybody for tuning in, giving us a follow. We have reached over 100 subs on YouTube, so thank you very much to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Let's go.
Yep. And big shout out to Brandon Perna and the watch party he was doing during the game, and they were doing some raids of some live shows. So hopping on our halftime hash show. We'll tell you all about that later if you haven't heard of it, but getting our subscriptions up to over 100. Thank you very much. I think we've grown by about, we have about 130 right now. We've grown by about 125 this year. So that's kind of showing you where we're at, but fantastic stuff. So at least there's some positive that came out of that, right? But anyway, let's get into it. So let's start this conversation how we always do, with going back to about an hour or so before game time, where our minds were at, what we were thinking going into the start of the game. So Rob, hand it over to you first, man. What were you thinking before the game started?
Well, the entire day, we had the entire day to think about the game because, it got shifted and flexed to Sunday night prime time. I think we've only had this season, and correct me if I'm wrong, one other primetime game. So, I was definitely concerned. Like I've been saying the last few weeks, especially after the Dallas Cowboys game, which team is going to show up? I was hopeful. I think we all were hopeful. But, once again, we slipped on the banana peel and fell flat on our goddamn faces.
Yeah, especially on offense and special teams for that matter. Defense showed up, though. I'll give them credit because credit is due there. This Chiefs offense did not look the Chiefs offense that we've always been worried about. If there's one positive here, if you have to pick up the three units of the team, it's definitely the defense, and it's not even close by far. Mm-hmm. The defensive units have just gotten better and better as the year's gone on, to the point where at the beginning we were saying, is this even Vic Fangio's specialty anymore? And I think the last couple of weeks he's coming around. But yeah, you can't win a game only with defense as much as the Broncos have tried for years now.
Right. I mean, I get, it worked in Super Bowl 50. The situation there, though, was so different with Peyton Manning, running the offense, that you can't really replicate that again. So I see what John Elway was trying to do, but for the longest time, this is a whole nother conversation that we've had a million times. But fact of the matter is, you're right. Defense isn't going to win alone. And you look at where the AFC is now, and it's just or AFC West in particular, not to include the whole NFL, but with what we have in our division, the powerhouse offenses, we've got to find a way to match that to be able to have a chance to beat these teams on a continual basis. The fact that Chiefs have beaten us 12 times in a row now is, beyond sad. There's no good way for me to put it, other than just pure disappointment. And I'm gonna, so same thing for me. I was optimistic to the point where I was like, I shouldn't be optimistic. Like, I wasn't sitting here saying, yeah, we're going to go win this game. I felt that there's a chance, but in the back of my head, back of my mind, I was like, do we really have a chance? Probably not. It was just the Chiefs were coming off a bye. We don't do well in December in Arrowhead against the Chiefs, and just all these things were against us stat wise. Yeah. I like what they said, Justin Simmons had said before the game, or, to the team earlier in the week of, look, the 2021 Broncos are 0-0 against the Chiefs, So, okay. I like the mindset there. Yeah. And the defense did what they were supposed to. The defense only held them to 16 points, man.
Yeah. They got almost a third of their points from that one interception for a touchdown. Another 3 points from a muffed kick or a punt return. That's 13 points, almost half their points, really.
Yep.
Coming off of things that weren't the defense's fault. And to the defense's credit, when given the short field, they still didn't allow first down and forced a field goal. So,
yep.
Yeah, they beat themselves. It comes back to them beating themselves. And it felt like of all the Chiefs games in the last, 5 years, hard to think of one that was more of a winnable game for the Broncos than this one.
Right. Agreed. We get another shot at them at the end of the season here. Yeah. So it's not, like we're going to have to wait too long before we find ourselves having similar pregame conversations against the Chiefs saying, hey, can we break the 12-game losing streak now? At least we'll be in Denver this time. And they'll probably have a lot riding, in terms of seeding and everything for the Chiefs. So, who knows, as close as the AFC is in general, they could be vying for a number 1 seed, and we could have a chance to spoil that for them. So there's still going to be a lot for us to play for. And, there's the whole conversation of, if we make the playoffs, what do we have to do to get there? And that's just a whole other conversation for probably our Tuesday night show, Bourbon Broncos No BS, which starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
Speaking of Tuesday, Kev, I would like to at least give Jared some props that we are not the first team mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, there you go.
Houston has taken that crown. So, there's still hope, damn it. There's still hope.
There's still hope. Yes, I will give you that, Rob. And honestly, yesterday's game doesn't change much for me because I was expecting to win that game. And we saw the same offense that we've seen in plenty of other games this season. So it wasn't a surprise. We're going to have to get healthy for at least on the win column side this week against the Lions. But I feel like we're in pretty much the same situation for me anyways as we were, last week. Now, had we beat the Chiefs yesterday, it's a whole different story, right? We're talking about, how many, it's just a totally different conversation. But as the Broncos have done to us year after year, it's just another roller coaster of a season.
Week after week almost at this point.
Yeah, week after week.
And a slight congratulations to the Lions for actually getting their first win this weekend over the Vikings. But God, I pray we don't give them their second.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a conversation because, while their record says 1-10 or whatever they are.
1-10-1.
Yeah, well, yeah, whichever. their games have been very close.
Yeah.
So, it's not like they're getting stomped every week.
Yeah.
The majority of the games they're in it till the end. And so this is going to be a hard fought game. That could very well come down to the wire again. So we'll see. We'll see for sure what happens.
Now, if we lose to the Lions, then the season is over.
Well, yes. I mean, we'll see what Jared's calculations say if we're mathematically eliminated yet. I don't trust any of the other experts. I wait until Jared does his mathematical, calculations. When his calculator says there's a 0% chance, then I resign. So we're not there yet. Okay, back to the Chiefs game really quick. I guess real quick, but in general, because that's what this is about. And I know I don't want to talk about it, but that's what we do here at the Postgame podcast. We talked about the defense doing their job is pretty much as best they can. Some of it, I'm not going to take any credit away from them, but I think Mahomes had a kind of a sloppy night in general as well. So, there were plenty of times where there was somebody open, and Pringle especially had, 3, maybe 4 drops. Overall, what I'm looking at is Teddy Bridgewater. If I could point to 2 things that killed us this game, the special teams and Teddy Bridgewater. Especially there in, 3 back-to-back drives, where it was the turnover, then the muffed punt, and then the pick 6. Teddy definitely, he was a big part of why we lost that game for sure.
Yeah. We were driving. I guess we're still down by 2 scores at that point because we hadn't scored that touchdown yet. But still, like that interception for a touchdown, that was game over easily for us. Had we gone down, scored a touchdown, again, it's a totally different game. And we're not talking about it. It just changes the conversation completely. But to your point, Bridgewater, awful game. One of his worst for the season, I would say. And I would say Teddy Bridgewater, and I still don't like the play calling this one when we're rushing as well as we are. Javonte Williams was a beast in this game. He said, did he have 200 scrimmage yards? He was close.
He had 102 with 23 carries.
Yep.
Yeah, and then another 76 receiving, so just under 200, all-purpose yards, if you will. Which, if we're running ball that well, why are we not doing more play action? Why is it why aren't we playing complementary offense? Why aren't we, getting them to commit to the run defense and then, pulling it out last minute and throwing it for a pass? I think we had 1 or 2 play action passes a game. I don't get that's pretty
because Pat Shurmur is an idiot.
Yeah.
No, well, you look at it. We had that 4th and 7 conversion. Pass where we're running the ball very well. Then I think it was 2nd and long, and we got an 8-yard run, so it was 3rd and 2.
Yep.
But then we go and pass the ball, and we line up in shotgun. So we essentially telegraph to the Chiefs, we're going to pass the ball on 3rd and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what do we do in 4th and 2? We pass the ball again.
Well, no, on that one, we ran it on that one.
We did run on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, come on. The play calling once again. I still don't like, the calls where it's 3rd and 8 and, the one receiver, I think the one example I'm thinking of in particular, Sutton runs like a 5-yard post. If you're going to run a post, that's fine, but at least get it out to the chains, Come on. This is beyond sad.
The game plan there is get it, 3 yards short of the line of scrimmage and make the guy, force a play to get the first down, which has not worked at all this season. I don't know when we're going to abandon that strategy.
At this point, we're not.
Maybe a couple times a game, but we don't need to do that every freaking 3rd and long situation. It rarely works. 3rd down was abysmal for us. What pissed me off most about 3rd downs yesterday is we were getting in those situations where it was 3rd and short, right? Every week we're talking about we're in too many 3rd and long situations and we're not converting. But this time we had 4 times that we were 3rd and short, meaning 3 yards or less, basically. And we only converted 1 of those times. So, the stats don't get any better when we're in short yardage situation on 3rd down, which
blows my
mind. You're not going to convert there. When are you going to convert on 3rd down?
Right.
It's bad. It's just bad play calling. And on that drive that you were talking about, I don't mind throwing it on 3rd down when you're going to go for it on 4th anyways. But you're right. Why telegraph it? don't be in shock and not have, be so clearly not going to run the ball, because that's the whole point, is you're trying to catch them off guard. And yeah, they didn't. The Chiefs knew it was coming. They knew it was going to be passed, and then the next time they seemed like they knew it was going to be a run. So, and that was probably the most crucial drive of the game for the Broncos, and to not get any points off of it.
I'm looking at that drive. Go for it.
Oh, sorry. Then we had that one drive, and I forget which quarter it was in, but we were in the red zone, and then when they showed the replay, Tim Patrick was open, Noah Fant was open, and we couldn't get him the ball. I mean, Noah Fant, he had 4 catches for 33 yards, which, I mean, isn't terrible, but come on, like.
Well, yeah, a lot of those catches came in the fourth quarter when the game was pretty much over. But you're right, and that is the same drive we were talking about. Those two guys were wide open, and I mean, I know Bridgewater was pressured, but he was looking at, I think, who was it he went to? I think it was Patrick the whole time, and didn't even see those guys on the left side of the field. And Bridgewater, they were open, man.
Mm-hmm. So frustrating.
Looking at this, because I'm going back and looking at the play-by-play for the one I was just talking about, and how they lined up in shotgun and 3rd and 2. So if you go back to it, we had the KC penalty that put us at 1st and 5. It was a Williams run for 11 yards, followed by another Williams run for 3 yards, followed by a Williams run for 5 yards. We had them on their heels. Why not line up? If you want to pass it on 3rd and 2, fine. But we just that's 20 yards right there, back to back runs for and this is a long drive too, so they're tired.
That was
so now you just add some confusion in there.
11-minute drive, like that's the longest drive the Broncos have had all season.
Yeah,
and yeah, you're right. They're tired. The defense is tired. They're on their heels, and to not come up with points there was terrible. The only positive of that drive was that it kept the Chiefs on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're playing the Chiefs, that's not good enough.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. I mean, I will say at halftime we were only down by a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And so the game by no means was over at that point, but I can only imagine morale-wise that hurt not coming away with points there.
Mm-hmm. Man, I could see it in Teddy's face there. After the first interception alone, it just looked like, and I don't know, like that's maybe his personality. That's the way he is. And I'm not trying to diss him or anything in that regards, but he just looks so defeated, It's almost like a Jay Cutler attitude. You're just like, oh man, like, oh, okay, through another interception. I don't know. It just.
I'll be honest, Kev. Teddy Bridgewater honestly looked like he didn't give 2 shits. Like he knew the game was over before the game even fucking started. And I got a problem with that. If your quarterback isn't fired the hell up to play, if they're not fired the hell up to play against a division rival and want to win in their own house, get the fuck out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but he didn't look like he gave 2 shits at all.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams gave 2 shits.
Oh,
Javonte Williams was, fighting for every freaking yard that he had. And to your point, John, Javonte looks good. And, I don't know. We didn't do any 50-50 balls, to Tim Patrick or Cortland Sutton. I think we did 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's just so gosh damn frustrating.
Another easy interception the Chiefs could have had was a long bomb from Bridgewater, way overthrown. I think it was Sutton. 2 guys on it. Like, it was just bad.
And that one was interesting because they did show the replay, and it did look like Cortland slowed up a little bit there.
Right.
Like he thought the ball wasn't thrown to him or something. I don't know. But either way, poor miscommunication. Why Sutton isn't just straight up sprinting that whole way down there. I mean, if he would have been right there where those other 2 guys are, and you're looking at pass interference at that point, potential. So, they show that a couple times, and it did look like he slowed up and then hit the gas again. And you're like, dude. So maybe that ball was where it's supposed to be, but I mean, that was the deepest pass all game.
Yeah.
there are other ones. There's another one about 26 yards, another one about 23 yards, 20 yards. So, we're not even taking that deep shots, which, to a degree made sense because we're just trying to kill the clock, right? But, dude, it was just so many things. Now, I want to go positive before I go negative again, before I take us back down that bunny trail. But what about Mike Boone?
Hey, he played well.
4 carries, 35 yards with his long of 16 yards.
Yeah, it was a good compliment to Javonte Williams.
Right.
A little change of pace.
Kind of made me feel like we might have our 1-2 already, once Gordon leaves us next year.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, no, Mike Boone looked good, surprisingly enough. Was this his first game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is his second. This is the first one I can think of that I think he got maybe 1 touch last game, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good, but, our offensive line, I mean, we just barely got a bunch of people back from injury this week.
Mm-hmm.
As Ayla would say, the offensive line was not gelling like they were supposed to. But it's just frustrating because their defense. I mean, looking at the defensive stats, they had 45 solo tackles. Kansas City did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Our offensive line looked like a leaky ship.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and to your point about Javonte Williams, he there was one stat at one point he had 76 yards and 71 of them were after contact.
Yep.
It's like ridiculous. The only reason he was getting yards is because he's breaking a tackle
Right.
as soon as he gets the ball and still making a positive play out of it.
Can you imagine what he's going to look like in the next 2-3 years after, because he's only going to get better,
Yeah.
he's going to take the time over this offseason and say, now that I have experience, now that I know what it's like, here's what I need to improve on. And he's going to have the whole offseason to, this guy is, I am so excited to see what this guy is going to do as a starter.
Oh, he could do in the receiving game too. 6 receptions, 76 yards, and the only touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Now 34 of those yards was on that touchdown, but still, take that one away, he still had, 40 yards receiving. So I think he's our 3-down back moving forward after this season.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason to give Melvin Gordon another contract. Nothing against Melvin Gordon. He's played amazing.
Right.
But for the price tag that he's going to command, we already got our running back.
Yep.
I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, fellas, but I kind of want to say that Javonte reminds me a little bit of Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
You might be getting a little ahead of yourself.
A young Terrell Davis, but I mean, the way he's powering through some of those things, I don't know, man. You never know.
No, yeah, if he keeps this up, sure, 100%. If this is the guy we have for the next 10 years, I will come back to this moment, Rob, and say you were right.
Okay, y'all heard it
say
here
this.
first.
Exactly.
December
Exactly.
6th, 2021.
Okay, some more negative. How does Tom McMahon still have a job, guys? How the hell
I don't fucking
does Tom
know,
McMahon
Kevin.
still
I have no idea.
Look, let's face it. At this point, if he got fired, like, what is it going to do? It's not going to change anything. I mean, they're not. Somebody else isn't going to be able to come in and turn the special teams around in 5 weeks. But for the sake of just
Special
saying,
teams isn't even that hard to play.
no, but
Block the guy and freaking make sure he doesn't get to your guy. It's that simple.
yeah, or Spencer, hey, fair catch, or
Which, I mean, am I wrong? I feel like we don't normally get a muff from Spencer.
no.
No, we don't.
So I think it goes back to us beating ourselves in this game. Honestly, I just didn't like the whole approach that we had from the get-go. It seemed like we were in our own head, making such a big deal about not beating the Chiefs for 11 games, now 12 games in a row. Even from like the coach, even from the decision with the coin toss, and we brought it up in the halftime show yesterday, Kevin, to win the coin toss and then go out there and decide to go out on offense first. Something I can't think of the last time we did that this year when we won the coin toss for our offense that can't start games fast. And again, we go out and have a 3-and-out right away, even after a first down rush, first play of the game of 9 yards from Javonte Williams, and then two plays of 0 yards. It's weird. Like they didn't want the Chiefs to come out to a hot start, but again, that's just you trying to adapt to the game that hasn't even started yet. Like, just go play your game and coach like you normally would. I don't know. It just had a bad start. A bad just game. I don't know about game plan, but game plan, definitely game plan, but overall game plan. But just strategy from the beginning. It was different than the other games where we did have success.
Yeah.
And the worst is I was at my local place here where I live, and I had a Chiefs fan sitting next to me the entire fucking game. And
great.
it's not one of those ones that can just sit there and watch the game. He's got to clap, this close to my face, and I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail.
I don't want to go to jail. I have a family. I
don't know, Rob. I'm kind of picturing it. If this was the reverse situation, you might be doing the exact same to him.
Hey, when Pat Mahomes threw that tip ball and we intercepted, hell yeah, I hoot and hollered.
In that point, because you're just returning the favor.
I didn't turn and do it in his ear, but hell yeah, hoot and hollered. I may have gotten asked to bring the volume down just a little bit, maybe once or twice.
No, I can't picture that.
No, not you.
Okay,
man.
First of all, there was no kids in the restaurant. Okay, first of all. Second of all,
acceptable.
Fuck the Chiefs.
Agreed.
Is this your local game watching spot, Rob?
Yeah, it's a place called Wingnuts.
How often do they ask you to bring your voice down there?
Depends on who we're playing. If it's the Chiefs or the Patriots, probably 2 or 3 times every time.
Do they give you a seat in the corner? Like they see you walking in?
They're like, you go over here.
Oh, hell no. I sit at the bar.
Okay.
If I were them, I'd be like, you're going to go over here.
Well, and I used to work there. So, they tolerate me a little bit more than they probably should. Shout out to St. George Wingnuts. Thank you very much. But, yeah, it's... And I'll give Ron a shout out. Ron, congratulations, you're a Chiefs fan. Congratulations, blah blah blah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bring my my best friend from high school. She's a Chiefs fan to the game. Last game of the season here. So we have a good back and forth. Every year she gets me something Broncos for Christmas. I get her something Chiefs. So it's always funny because right around November, I start getting ads on Facebook and stuff for Chiefs. It's like they know I'm about to buy something. Just like, you guys are scary. Like,
Kevin, does it make you feel dirty when you have to do that?
It does. But it's our thing. So I'll bring her to the game.
Every time we lose, you buy her a Chiefs thing?
Huh?
What's the deal? Every time we
every
lose?
Christmas. No, just every Christmas.
Oh, just for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. It was every time we lose, then good God.
That bill's gonna get expensive.
He'd be like, honey,
I would have canceled that deal a long time ago.
Getting the Chiefs air freshener.
Probably after like the 4th or 5th time, like, I see where this is going for a while now. we're not playing by those rules now.
The Chiefs tire gauge.
Right? Yeah.
Honey, we can't have Christmas this year. I got to buy, so and so another Chiefs thing.
Yep.
Again.
Well, before we kind of move on to some other things, because we're start looking ahead a little bit here, not to step on the pregame podcast toes. There's still some awesome games left ahead of us that we can get excited for. We're not out of the race yet, so let's go ahead and get excited. But there's also something else you can do to get excited, and that is by paying attention to DraftKings. Of course, they sponsor us, and want to let you know that with all this action-packed, high-scoring games that are happening around us, there's the latest no-brainer from DraftKings Sportsbook is you'll be a winner once a single point is scored. That's right, you heard me correctly. New customers who bet just $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. It's really that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still get in on this awesome NFL action. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Here's what we need you to do. Go ahead and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TPPN Bet $1 on any team to score, and you win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Of course, you must be 21 years or older in a state that supports sports betting. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, gents, this game is in the rearview mirror. We will be playing them again. It will be in Denver, thankfully. It's going to be a pretty important game the way the AFC keeps going. And tonight's Monday Night Football game is going to be pretty interesting as well. So we'll see how all that turns out and what that means for the AFC in general. But I guess looking ahead, not just to this Lions game, but what are some of your big takeaways? I know we talked about some of them, Javonte Williams, Teddy Bridgewater, definitely not being probably any better than a backup quarterback at best. Shermer, we know, but I guess what else kind of stood out to you, or what are some other takeaways or things you're looking out for the rest of the season?
I really liked how Kenny Young played. Kenny Young had 9 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. He looks like a pretty good pickup, and shout out to Pat Surtain getting that off that tip drill. He's looking, just better and better every week. But I mean, again, that his dad played in the league, so I mean that's that NFL bloodline. We're seeing a lot of players retire and have families and everything, and I just feel like it's just going to be a circle. We're just going to keep seeing these same names come up, and and I think that's great. That's absolutely awesome. So yeah, Pat Surtain looked good to me. But other than that, I don't know. I got nothing else, man. I got nothing else.
Well, look, we started out the same way we have it for multiple games this year, right? Nothing on offense and the defense giving up points. So, I mean, shout out to the defense for giving up 10 points in the first 2 drives, but then really adapting and shutting it down essentially for the rest of the game. I think the Chiefs were doing some things a little different that the Broncos weren't expecting, specifically on the first drive. They had a couple underneath passes to Tyreek Hill that seemed he was wide open on both of those, and it seemed like the Broncos were not expecting that. In fact, there was one time where they cut to Fangio, and the face he was giving was just like, "What? Where the hell did that come from?" So they adapted and kept us in the game up until that pick 6. So I think the defense just getting stronger. And then the other thing to be actually excited about is the injuries. I can't think of one guy that went off the field yesterday.
Yeah, it's very fair.
I think this is
damn it, John! Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Everybody do it right now. Wherever you're listening, knock on wood.
Yeah. That is my bad. So yeah, we're getting healthier, which is good. The offense has just got to start showing up for these games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is it me, or every time they cut to Vic Fangio, he just looks confused?
Look, when you throw challenge flags on plays that are clearly not challengeable over and over and over and over again, you're not using timeouts, or you use timeouts where they don't make sense. You don't have to show me the guy's face to tell me that he's confused.
I don't understand.
Somebody get me Vic Fangio's address. I'm going to send him coaching 101 for dummies.
Dude, at this point, it doesn't matter. He hasn't picked it up in 3 seasons now. He's not going to pick it up in his 4th.
It seemed like it was getting better.
So did the Broncos in general. They all seemed like they were finally turning the corner, and then they, broke our hearts again.
Yeah, but season 1 under Fangio, the challenging was ridiculous to the point where they hired someone to put in the booth before he would throw the challenge flag, which seems like a no-brainer to me.
Right.
So the second season didn't seem nearly as bad. It was still plenty of bad, poor challenges, but not nearly as bad. And then this year we go right back to it. And every time they don't even come back from a commercial before they make the decision, and it seems like they review it for less than 10 seconds before they come back with the decision that, hey, Broncos, no, it's you're not going to get this very clearly.
Yeah.
If I was the ref, I'd have looked at Vic and been like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Like,
I feel like the ref doesn't even go to the booth most of the time. It's like, "Oh, Fangio's challenging." Yeah, it's just it's play stands.
If the guy in the booth is telling Vic to challenge that and he throws the flag, then a couple things need to happen. That guy needs to be fired, or Vic should be like, oh, you want me to challenge that? Yeah, this is staying in my pocket because you don't want me to challenge that? I'm going to challenge that. Like, that's probably how this is going.
That guy needs to lose his job, whoever that is.
How does he have a job? At this point, McMahon is going to have tenure with the Broncos and is going to be around for the next 20 years. And the booth review guy is going to be with the Broncos for the next 25 years as well. So,
damn it, Kevin, stop saying that. I don't want to deal with McMahon for another 10 years.
Well, he shouldn't be here now. You know, like he should.
Kevin, you go coach special teams.
I would say I can't do any worse. I don't know if I could do better. But it wouldn't be any, and I'd come a whole lot cheaper too. I'd be like, give me 10% of what he's making. And I'd gladly do it. You guys want to save some money? I got you. It's not going to be any worse. Here I am, like YouTubing how to coach special teams 101 and bringing that into to practice and stuff. It's probably going to be about the same quality. So, but, hey, we do have Thomas watching our live stream of this. For those listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcast, appreciate you tuning in. As always, again, we do this live on YouTube Monday nights right around 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And we have a ton of other content for you guys to check out throughout the season, and then some stuff throughout the off season as well. But Monday nights, we also have Orange Weekly After Dark that starts right after Monday Night Football. We got the Tuesday night Bourbon Broncos No BS show, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We got this post-game podcast. We got the pre-game podcast. We got our tailgate talk show that starts about an hour before kickoff. And then the halftime hash, the original live halftime show for the Broncos was started right here. So don't mind those that picked it up after we started doing it. That's fine. But just remember that we're the original and we're the best. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
It's straightforward as you can be.
Let's see. Daniel in our chat over here again says, thanks for tuning in, Daniel and Tom. Appreciate it. For the 13th consecutive week, Fangio, Munchak, Shermer, Ellis are sitting on the hottest seats in football. Yeah, at this point, I think Munchak could very well be somebody that sticks around. It would depend on who the new head coach would be. But the rest of them, I mean, Ellis has already said that he's going to leave before the season started pretty much. So I'd say his seat's hot, but it doesn't really matter because he's going to step down. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's kind of it, guys. I mean, we've kind of talked through everything. There's a lot to really start delving into as we look towards this Lions game. And again, this is not going to be something where the boys need to go out on the field and expect that they're just going to automatically win. I mean, it's going to be a fight for sure.
I will say that as a fan, I'm expecting them to go out there and win. But you cannot overlook. If you're a player, you're definitely not overlooking. And the Broncos, they better not be overlooking any game at this point, the way they've been playing. Mm-hmm. But this is a must-win. I mean, pretty much every game.
If they want to make the playoffs, their playoffs start now.
Well, yeah, especially because of the level of competition we're playing. Like, if you don't win this one, then forget the rest of the game. You're not winning the rest of the game.
You're pretty much in preseason for next year at that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we basically just have to win out the rest of the season and cross our fingers.
We need some help some other places.
Yeah, and the Bengals, they could have helped us, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. They lost big time, that's for sure. So, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to win this week against an opponent that has one win on their win-loss column, and then we go from there. Looking at the Bengals after that, and then to end the season, we have 3 AFC West opponent games, and it's going to come down to beating the AFC West as to see if we're even relevant at that point.
Yep. Agreed. Cool, guys. Well, thank you very much for helping me out, Jon and Rob. You're awesome as always. For Tom and Dan who popped up in the comments here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Everyone who's listening to this on your podcast sites, appreciate you tuning in there as well. Keep coming back for more Broncos content. We're going to be here. This is our 6th year now. It's very clear that we're not going anywhere, whether the Broncos win or lose. I'm ready for one of these years where the Broncos do well, and we have a lot of good things to talk about. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. Just stick by me, and then you won't regret it. So,
hey, you know what? We hang on as long as we can. But God, one of these years, just Can we please bring Peyton Manning back from retirement?
God, I wish.
For the love of God.
At this rate, please suit up, man.
Suit up, get on the sideline, coach. I don't care. Just bring his ass back.
Exactly. Jeez.
Hey, 3 or 4 years, Arch Manning's going to be available in the draft. So
This is true.
maybe we'll be getting the first round pick that year.
Hey, you know what? If this all leads to that, I would be okay with it. I'd be like, you know what? This was all worth it.
That would be the most miserable 4 years.
Oh, another 3-4 years.
It's already been 5. What's another 3 or 4? You're halfway through waiting, man. You're halfway through the pain.
No,
John, I think you said it. I think you said it best. We're just numb now. Like,
oh yeah.
Hey, when they win, we're like, hell yeah, we won. And then when they lose, we're like, it's just another game. Yep. Just another day.
Yeah, but then the next week they win, and then it's like you get a little less numb, yeah. And then they do. It's just it goes back and forth.
Hey, you know what? Life of a Broncos fan, but
yeah.
I'm not going to stop
at this point. I don't know, but it does.
I'm not going to stop cheering at any point soon. So
hey, neither will I.
I probably got 70 to 80 years of my life, probably at most. But I'll probably be cheering for the Broncos for at least 100. I don't know. I'll be haunting the stadium. Like my ghost will go to the stadium so I can watch the games.
For only 20 more years.
Well, eventually I want to, my ghost will
you want to move on,
do something else. But we'll see. If I can get buried under the stadium somehow, then yeah, I'll be the guy that there's rumors about. There's somebody.
Kev, that's real morbid, bro. That's fucked up.
I'm just saying. That'd be a cool goal.
I think this Orange Weekly is really going to have to take off for you to be in a position to be buried under the
Hey, you know what? There's plenty of time left. There's plenty of time left for that to happen.
We're
6 years in. Just wait till we're 76 years in. Orange Weekly is like, we have our own headquarters, like a 50-story building. It's going to happen, man.
And the handful of us are going to be old as hell and just angry as shit all the time. God damn it!
Well, I'm angry all the time now anyway. So
yeah.
Kev, you're like James and the Giant Peach. You're just KevDan and the Giant Peach. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what that.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
John's going to be bouncing our books and just telling us to stop spending money on everything.
I have very strategically picked who is helping out on this podcast. So
really,
yeah.
I'm just going to be roaming the halls, yelling at everybody, stop running in the halls.
Man, okay. Well, if you want to hear more weird banter like this that has nothing really to do with football, another show that we've started doing is the Orange Weekly Backstage Show that happens right after our Tuesday night Bourbon Broncos No BS, and that's on YouTube only. So come on over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and you can hear us and interact with us and have, share some fun stories and just have some beers and relax and
great
talk.
business ideas that have been popping out of that. So if anyone's listening, and I mean, we're trademarking them after every episode, every idea.
Yep. But we have a lot.
We have a lot.
We've already started Jared's OnlyFans page.
I mean, that started after
it's surprisingly taking off. So,
Kevin, you can't say it's taking off if you and Jared are the only subscribers.
Well, we had a 200% increase. Okay. We went from 0 to 2. That's a 200% increase in a month. Okay. I'm impressed. That's a good number.
That's all.
Daniel, why should Kelsey have been ejected? I missed that. What did he do?
I can't remember.
Yeah, people are upset about it. I don't know.
Well, I know Bradley Chubb.
And talk about it tomorrow night.
Well, I know Bradley Chubb got in somebody's face, and I was like, "Turn around and walk away."
Yeah, right. There was a number of those situations.
Yeah, early on it was trippy, and then it seemed to, I don't know, it seemed like it calmed down a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I was drunk at that point.
Right.
I think most Bronco fans were like, "Can we just get this over with, please?"
Drunk and angry and sad.
That should be the name of this podcast.
Right.
Postgame.
The drunk, angry, and sad podcast. What's going to happen when we start winning then?
We'll cross that bridge.
The drunk happy podcast.
Hey, keep rebranding it, man.
Yes, you can. You can have the same podcast with like 8 different names.
Nah, it's too much work. Let's wait to see what the Broncos start.
Let's worry about winning first.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna end it for real now, guys. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, you learned something. If you didn't, well, I don't know what to tell you, but
There's always next week.
There's always next week. Hey, let's end it as we always do on a very strong Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Take care, everyone.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, if it's right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know